Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Philly Phil. Welcome back to the Eat with Philly Phil talk show and more. I appreciate all of your support. So, guys, we're going to briefly talk about the Emmett Till case, and hopefully one day we'll have a live about it and, talk about it just a little bit more in depth. But I just want to share a clip from MSNBC. Joy talked about it. She had someone on her show. They're talking about the arrest warrant that was discovered for Carolyn Bryant Donham, the lady who accused Emmett Till of whistling at her or whatever she said he did. And they're charging her pretty much with kidnapping, the kidnapping charges, because she knew, I think it was her husband and her brother-in-law, she knew that they had captured or kidnapped Emmett Till, and she was pretty much in on it, and she lied from the beginning. And then also, we're going to look at this clip from the Clarion Ledger. The prosecutor there in Mississippi has no intentions of prosecuting Miss Carolyn for these charges. So the prosecutor has no plans of serving it on her or bringing her up on those charges, which I think is a travesty. Like I say, I still don't believe that, justice is slow, but it is sure. And it may have taken all these years, but look at the evidence slowly being pulled out to prove that Emmett Till never did anything. All right, so please take a look at these clips, and thank you for watching.
It has been nearly 67 years since Emmett Till was abducted, tortured, and lynched in Mississippi after the 14-year-old black boy from Chicago who was visiting family in Mississippi was accused of making advances at a white woman. In an amazing discovery last week, a team searching a Mississippi courthouse basement for evidence in the case uncovered an unserved 1955 arrest warrant charging that same woman for Till's kidnapping. Included in that team were relatives of Till. They're now calling for the woman, Carolyn Bryant Donham, now in her 80s, to be arrested. Donham was married to one of the two white men who were tried and acquitted for Till's brutal murder, shockingly, by an all-white jury. Maybe not so shockingly, given this country's history. They later confessed to the killing. The arrest warrant against Donham was publicized at the time. But get this, the sheriff told reporters that he did not want to, quote, bother Ms. Bryant, since she had two young children to care for. American history. With me now is Deborah Watts, Emmett Till's cousin and co-founder of the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation. She was part of the team that discovered the warrant. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Watts. And I want to take you back to that discovery. What were you all looking for in that courthouse, and how did you come upon this incredible document?
Well, I'll just tell you, it was a team of about 5 of us, and this was the second opportunity to search. There was a team that went towards the end of March after we had a meeting with the Department of Justice, the FBI investigator, and the DA Richardson. And so at that time, they told us there was nothing else that they could do. And we knew all along that this warrant for Carolyn Bryant's arrest was never served. Keith Beauchamp, who is an award-winning filmmaker and was responsible for the investigation that reopened the case in 2004, made sure that we understood that. And so a collective group of us went to the courthouse in LaFleur County, Greenwood, Mississippi, to search for that warrant. And we knew that one bit of evidence had never been served, and we wanted to find it amongst other things that we thought might be there. But we did find it, and we are hoping that this leads to the at least the execution of the warrant to Carolyn Bryant Donham, charging her in the kidnapping and murder of Emmett Lewis Till, because she's culpable in that, without malice, without hate, or without vengeance. We want justice served. And so we were just excited, ecstatic, happy, very emotional at the time when we found it in the lower level of the LaFleur County courthouse area in the basement there.
Carolyn Bryant Donham, she, the book The Blood of Emmett Till, which brought a lot of people, younger people, to this story that only knew about it from history class, if it's illegal to teach it in their state. That in that book, Carolyn Bryant Donham, she actually gave an interview to that author, and then she took back her previous admissions that she lied about your cousin, about Emmett Till. Do you want her arrested and put under oath to get her to, under oath, say what she did?
Well, we think the evidence speaks for itself, and we think that the sheriff needs to serve that warrant to Carolyn Bryant. The DA needs to impanel, a grand jury, and then they need to bring Carolyn in to be a part of that and indict her being culpable in the murder and, first of all, the kidnapping of Emmett Till.
Absolutely.
But Carolyn definitely was there. I mean, the FBI investigation and other reports and the admission by Dale Killinger, who was the FBI investigator at the time, he received an admission from that 2 other young men had been brought to her to identify them. And of course, we know what happened with Emmett. Those 2 other young men were accosted, they were thrown out, beat up. Some of them were beat up. But Emmett, what happened to Emmett? He was kidnapped and murdered later. So there had to be an identification. Carolyn Bryant could be the only person that would do that. And in fact, in the documents that we found, there was an affidavit for her arrest as well. Also, the address of Mose Wright, who identified her. He had to. So they talked to him, and this kidnapping took place, of course, Joy, before the murder. So justice needs to be served. It's time, and Carolyn needs to be brought to justice.
I just want to very quickly, before we run out of time, ask you, I mean, you were, 6, 7 years old when your cousin was murdered. How did, his murder and this historic funeral that Mamie Till opened the casket so that the world would have to see the results of it? Were you at that funeral? How did his death impact your family?
I was not at the funeral. I was actually a toddler at the time, not quite 6, 7 years of age, but I heard about it. When Mamie Till Mobley traveled across the country to speak out along with the NAACP, she came to my hometown, Omaha, Nebraska, and I was able to see a booklet that was created by a photojournalist, Ernest Withers, who identified and photographed, I should say, the trial and that famous photo of Mose Wright pointing at the 2 murderers. And so I was able to see that and connect the tears, the emotions with Mamie's visit. And see, even as a toddler, I was able to become emotional about it. But later in years, Mamie Till Mobley is my shero. And we oftentimes had conversations about what happened, who was responsible, and what kind of justice she wanted. She did not want, she did not, I would say this, she didn't want to have any type of hate towards Carolyn Bryant or vengeance, and we hold that in our hearts as well. We just want justice served, just as we wanted, just as Simmons wanted it as well.
Indeed, indeed. Deborah Watts, it's such an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much, and the best to your family, and we wish you very much luck in pursuing this case. Thank you, Deborah Watts.
Okay, now let's look at this article and this short video in the Clarion Ledger, which is in, I believe, Jackson, Mississippi. So let's just take a look at this one. It says here, Mississippi Attorney General, no plans to prosecute Carolyn Bryant Donham in the Emmett Till case. So even though there's that unserved arrest warrant, the Mississippi Attorney General is saying that they have no plans to prosecute her. Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi's top legal official has no plans to prosecute the white woman whose accusations set off the lynching of Black teenager Emmett Till nearly 70 years ago. An aide said Friday, following revelations about an unserved arrest warrant and a newly revealed memoir by the woman. There's no new evidence to open the case back up, Michelle Williams, Chief of Staff for Attorney General Lynn Fitch, told the Associated Press. Wow. Williams also said that Fitch's office has not been in contact with Lafleur County District Attorney Dwayne Richardson, the local prosecutor who would be responsible for pursuing any case against Carolyn Bryant Donham. The Justice Department previously investigated without filing charges and closed the case, Williams said, referring to the government's decision in December to end its most recent review of the infamous slaying. So let's take a listen and watch this video here. So guys, there you have it. That was a short clip. She says that Emmett Till, first she said he didn't do it, then she said something about he identified himself, but we know that wasn't true. There's also an arrest warrant for her that was never served. So we shall see what happens with this case. I'll stay on it and see if they actually go through with the prosecution of this lady, which I think they should. A young mother lost her son far too soon because of a lie that this lady told. Although she's in her 80s now, she was in her probably 20s then. She was young. She knew what she was doing. Justice, as I always say, justice is slow. How do I say it? Justice, even if it's slow, is sure. So we're going to end with that. Justice, even if it's slow, it's sure. And justice will come for Emmett Till. Thank you guys for watching.